that it's about time to start and kick off the session, how to go from customer insights into customer intelligence. So very good morning. My name is Rick. I'm calling from the Lead Family Office in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. I'm very excited with today's schedule and also with today's guest speakers and the co-host, which will introduce themselves in a minute. I will keep my introduction short, as I think we've got a great lineup for today. Yes, I already told, my name is Rick, working for the Danish software company Lead Family Gamification. And maybe it's now time to jump on to Josh for a quick introduction, and followed by Emilia. Josh.
Morning, everyone. Thanks for attending today. So I'm Josh. Yeah, I'm the Principal Account Director over at MAP, looking after our global retail and CPG clients. I've been with our business for about 9 years now, looking after some of the biggest retailers across Europe, and yeah, some big, large FMCG like PepsiCo across Europe as well. So hopefully I have some good experience here to bring to you guys today. Really looking forward to this session, and yeah, really excited that we could bring our joint client actually over at Jysk onto this session today. Yeah, I'll pass you across to Emilia.
Hello, my name is Emilia, and I'm calling to you from Polish office, Jysk Polish office in Gdansk. And I'm working for Jysk for 7 years. And right now, one of my tasks is also to secure for the gamification strategy in Jysk. So I think we can start.
Wonderful. Well, we've got around 45 minutes where we really appreciate your time. So we want hopefully inspire you with some useful insights about daily activities that myself, Josh, and Emilia are doing. Hopefully giving you some ideas how to improve some of the things you are doing yourself. We do have the possibility to take a number of questions. Most likely we will do some Q&A at the end of the session, but feel free to use the chat window if you have any questions in between, and we might answer them during the session or at the end. So let's first give you a quick introduction in the magical world of gamification. Here you see the agenda topics for today. Let's move on to the next slide. And there we have some interesting insights that the current or the new generation and generations, they spend much more hours behind their game console compared to studying in books. So for you as a brand owner or as an advertiser, how to get their attention? Is that with the old school media, or do you want to get their attention through some kind of games and gamification? And this is also another interesting sheet with some data where we see that a lot of people are spending an incredible amount of time behind their devices. Laptop, smartphone, tablet, well, you can name them. We are bombarded on a daily basis with so many advertisements in combination with an average attention span of only 8 seconds. So how can we make sure that we got the attention of your existing clients, of your future clients for more than 1 second during an ad? Or maybe for more than 8 seconds during a typical attention span. And there is a lot of scientific evidence that using proven gamification methods is one of the ideas to help you engage with your existing and your future customers, which can be explained from a neuromarketing perspective, where we can look into the brains. And our human brains are very sensitive for what is called the happy chemicals. And whenever human beings are playing a game on the football field or behind the PlayStation or in a competition with your colleague who has got the best open ratio in the weekly newsletter, our brains are creating some of these chemicals like dopamine. And this small dopamine rush can bring you a lot of value, where you can actually influence behavior of your target group. But next to that, people who have those happy chemicals inside their brain, they're also much more likely to remember your message and remember your brand, and also create positive associations towards your brand. So it's not going to be a scientific talk today about neuromarketing. That's not my specialty. But if you're interested, there is a lot of scientific studies on it. If we zoom into to gamification, what are some of the mechanics that can explain the magic that we can see on a daily basis? And that's like, hey, human beings, they like to get challenged, for example. And the great thing, and a lot of questions I receive on a daily basis, gamification, that seems to be nice for a brand which has a B2C focus. But myself as a B2B brand, how can I use gamification mechanics in a B2B environment, for example? And the answer is very easy. The brains inside a person that is working on a B2B focus is working exactly the same as a consumer that is working on a B2C environment. Of course, it depends on the situation whether you can include all of these shown mechanics, but in general, we see that people like to get challenged. Test yourself on your knowledge on digital marketing, take the test and compare your result to the benchmark. Compete people. I have won 50 points in this drop game. Can you beat me? People like to mirror themselves, and mirror with a group or mirror with famous people, influencers or some other people. We see a lot of promotional campaigns where there is actually something to win. Incentives, prizes, 10% discount vouchers. So that can be a real motivation and a trigger for people to join and start playing a small game. But we see maybe as many games inside the platform that have nothing to win. Otherwise, then give people a little bit of fun. And sometimes in between tasks, it can be very nice and relaxed to play a small 1 or 2 minute game on a browser. What you can see over here is a little bit of background information on the company I represent, Lead Family Gamification. It's a software company that has developed a software as a service platform where you can, in a license module, you can get access to this platform. And with an do-it-yourself focus, we empower our users to create games completely by themselves, where they can choose out more than 30 standard games, where you can think of a Wheel of Fortune, a scratch card, a quiz, a personality test, an advent calendar, and I can name many more. And these days, the platform has become so user-friendly that there is no coding experience required to add game mechanics into your existing and future marketing and communication campaigns, making it a very valuable tool. And of course, with all the integration options, the data you can collect on the front side can be triggered into your marketing automation and CDP for some great follow-up. Well, the company Lead Family, we are working on a global scale with many national and international brands from very different sectors and industries. And that's also what I mentioned before. Of course, we all know the game campaigns and promotional activities where you can win a prize after playing a scratch card or Wheel of Fortune. But we also see a lot of clients in the insurance industry or in the non-for-profit industry or wholesalers that are actually using proven game mechanics in order to have a measurable impact in the objectives they have. And on the next slide, we are going to give you a little bit of insight in the data capture in the modern age. And that's where we have a beautiful graphic where you might be familiar with from Forrester Research. With today's topic on all the cookie policies that are going to vanish in a couple of months' time, it's maybe more important than ever that you, as a brand marketer or as a company, can have your own data, your first-party data in your self-controlled environment. I assume most of the viewers, marketing managers, online marketeers, data professionals, you are familiar with these kind of data. What is relatively new these days is the so-called zero-party data, where your clients can give you consent of taking some very personal information like your purchase intentions. If I'm ordering my food every week, I can these days say I want a delivery time somewhere in the evening hours. So then the delivery company knows that they need to deliver it in between 6 and 9 in the evening. And I can also say I like to pay with my Visa credit card, and then they can use all those personal and purchase intentions data to optimize this flow and to increase my experience, and hopefully have a measurable impact in my customer lifetime value, in my retention, in my conversion percentage. And I'm sure this graph will get more important once we see actually the third-party cookie disappear, giving marketeers a challenge of still keep doing what they are doing these days. So of course, not everybody is keen, and certainly not these days, on giving away personal information. Certainly not very personal information like zero-party data. And that's kind of interesting, where we as a software company are seeing tens of thousands of these small gamification campaigns going through our platform, where we can also conduct a number of benchmark and data analysis, and where we can really compare what is making players, customers to leave their data with you. And of course, the benefits needs to outperform the cost of leaving some personal data. And if that balance is big enough, and people get rewarded, for example, with a bit of fun, or they have the chance of winning a prize, or they can mirror themselves with a famous influencer, or test their knowledge about their current skills, they are much more eager to leave some of their details. And the happy chemicals like dopamine, which are floating around in our brains, makes the decision to leave your data much more easier compared to an old school registration form, where we are not so keen anymore to leave some personal data from ourselves. And this is just an example of how we, for example, in an A/B test environment, can conduct an analysis. If any, what is the effect of placing a registration form before the actual game, like a Wheel of Fortune, or maybe after the game? And if we go to the next slide, we can see that out more than 40 or 50,000 games, we can see there is indeed a significant difference if you are able to place your registration form after the game, and that is to be explained with the dopamine going through our brains, influencing our behavior, and making ourselves much more easier to share some information about myself, for example. And the interesting part is that we are also conducting data analysis together with our clients and users, where we can control a number of variables, and quite often we can create some evidence, some significant impact on using gamification compared to not using gamification. where we, for example, have seen a recent study of an international grocery retailer where shoppers that were playing a game in the loyalty app, they were spending 10 euros more per visit compared to those people who did not play a game. And that's of course very cool to have physical evidence where you can measure a lot of things, where the gamification, where the game is the actual controlled variable, and can really make a difference in a number of objectives. And now I think very interesting to switch over to Emilia, representing Jysk Retail, and giving you some insights from herself. So Emilia, if the connection is okay, the floor is yours.
Okay, let's click on the slide and meet Jysk. Jysk is a Danish retailer that is selling household goods such as mattresses, furnitures, interior decor, and garden furnitures. So anything you need to furnish your home and apartments is ready in Jysk. And also Jysk is the largest Danish retailer operating internationally with over 3,000 stores. While Jysk is a global business, the company is managed based on its Scandinavian roots. That this is reflected in our company culture and way we do the business. And we are really focused on our customers and always aim to provide an excellent customer experience offline and online for those that shop with us. Can you click on the next slide, Josh? Yes, and with more 3,000 stores across different countries and markets, one of my responsibilities is to start gamification strategy with our new partner, which is Lead Family. We challenge ourselves with creating campaigns during the year that will provide us more subscribers and boost our database numbers and enrich customer profiles, because customers' experience is important for us, and we wanted to create campaigns that engage our customers and our potential future customers. Right now, we are running the 3,000 store campaign, which is our biggest employer branding campaign in Jysk. And also with Lead Family, we prepared the personality test where potential candidates can solve the test and find out if they are if they can start working as store managers in Jysk. But this campaign is still running, and I decided to show you as a case study, our campaign from September, and it is called Price Party Campaign. Can you click? Yes, here we have the nice animation where you can see that users could sign up on our newsletters and also reminder emails, because our goal was also to provide game that it was able to play every day. So everyday users could play and win the prize, and also they had a chance to win the main prize with the gift card that was available for online and offline purchase. So yes, you could win. You get you just need the 3 identical symbols to win to get the prize. And with MAP and automatic email system we get from MAP, we were able to send seamlessly emails to users, so they get immediately information from us, and also those reminders emails that boost also engagement and users that play on our games. So that's how it looks. And on the slide you can see the results we had from this game. So with the new newsletter signups, it was over 200,000 new subscribers. Also, time spent per slot machine was 46 seconds. and with the total prize party games played over 600 times. So I think this is amazing results. And average email open rate is 45 to 65%. And average email click-through rate is 40%. So it is also really nice results. And average click to open rate is 80% because people were really engaged with winning the prize and having fun with this game. Yes.
Great, thank you, Amelia. So yeah, I'm here to talk a little bit more about how we take all of that customer data and the rich data that we collected from Lead Family and the gamification activity that Amelia has worked kind of so hard with Jysk within. And taking this across like multinational markets as well. So the fact here that we can enrich this customer profile is some things that really map is at the essence of what we do, and therefore wanted just to kind of showcase a little bit more of that today. So as we mentioned, I just put one slide up here on kind of MAP and who we are. So MAP as a business is a cloud technology that enables marketers to be able to communicate more effectively with their customers. So this is where the Lead Family angle comes in really nicely. We've just got a really engaged sign up, a really engaged user coming in through that kind of positive brand experience. And then they will flow into our tools. And we can either activate them through our Map Engage tool, where we might be sending them email or SMS or mobile push notifications. But we've also got the ability to kind of enhance and enrich this customer profile with our acquire tools, and then really do this kind of insight-led optimization and really understand where the customer's kind of next marketing goals are and what they will be most responsive to. So that's just mapped as a little bit of an essence of our business and why we're here joined up discussing today. So yeah, just wanted to really introduce the concept of a CDP or a customer data platform and what at its heart it really is. And we take that unified customer profile. So we've just heard from Amelia that these guys have got 290,000 registrations from this single game across multi-markets. I think that campaign ran across 15 territories, for instance, where it was all localized in language, where, for instance, there are double opt-in campaigns coming off the back of things for certain markets like Germany, for instance. And there's different kind of requirements that are coming out from these different customers. So the power really within the CDP is to take that information, so that real-time API that's coming in from the Lead Family tool, we're able to take that data, we're able to action it, as we said, in real time, and we're able to communicate our comms, whether that be our automation journeys, but also start to enrich that user journey with some of the existing data that we may have on the customer. That existing data may be in the bottom right-hand side. You can see we might have some previous transactional data, where what they purchased online, for instance. Maybe we've joined up their offline data and got some of their store and point of sale activity through, so we can really understand that customer there. But also we can start taking some of the feedback data. So the feedback from email activity, whether they've been opening or clicking, their engagement rates, for instance, on that particular channel. Are they an email user, or are they more preferable to maybe mobile push or SMS, and what are their response rates there? We have the concept of kind of best channel here over at MAP as well, where our technology will look and see what is the best channel for those users and actually automate the comms flow to be more leaning towards their kind of preferred channel. And then you've also got all this kind of behavioral data and contextual data. I want to focus a little bit more on that stuff today, so I'm going to focus a little bit on that. And from a MAP perspective, we've got this idea of data ingestion, and we're really open to receiving data from all different sources to build up this unified customer profile. So whether that be some data that's coming through or feeding through from Facebook, for instance, from a Facebook activity, or whether it's some behavioral data looking at your web browsing activity, or whether it's in your app, your SDK, we can take real-time data from there. Or in this case from Lead Family, where it's a really rich profile that we are receiving through from the user, because we know which game they've participated in, which country they're coming in from, some other form fill details that they will have on the competition. And also we already have that underlying engagement rate of kind of, as we've shown on that game, 46 seconds per user. And if you can imagine that 46 seconds translated into kind of media spend and how much cost that would be from a TV perspective. So you had 690,000 players times 46 seconds. I haven't fully done the maths, but there's a huge amount of hours of kind of brand engagement and brand sentiment that you've got there. So yeah, this is a really valuable thing for Jysk, and as we say, it's a positive brand experience that these users are having. It's a great way to kind of start off that relationship with the brand. So once we've got all this data ingested into our platform, we can start to think about this concept of enriching the customer profile. And because Rick's based in kind of Amsterdam and the Dutch market, we decided to focus on the Jysk.nl website here. So yeah, this is all Dutch for you international folk on the campaign today, but we can see the different category activity here. So we've got mattresses, we've got beds, we've got dining furniture, we've got the living room activity, everything which Jysk has in its DNA and its heritage and the great products that these guys are selling both offline and online. So what do we do with this information? So as soon as the user's on the website, we have our data management platform. And this is just looking at one single day, a couple of weeks back from the Jysk plethora of websites. I think we've got this across 28 international websites now. And this is 30 million events that have happened in a single day by about, I think, 8:30 p.m. UK time when this slide was taken. And this is happening every single day. So every single day we're getting 30 million feedback points on customers and what they're browsing potentially on the website, and what does that mean. So here we've got, again, focusing on the Dutch website, the Jysk.nl. We've got different activities that we're looking for some signals. So looking for signals of when users are browsing certain activity, whether they've just taken part in a lead family game, or whether they've been web browsing storage or dining room or homeware. We can take all of this kind of real-time information and enrich that customer profile. So a lot of clients say to me, oh, but we've only just got the email address, we've only just got this. Well, actually, you can really build a data profile quite quickly with the users, obviously with consents and these type of activities, but making sure we can track that customer and we can enrich that activity to then start really tailoring our marketing campaigns. So what do we do here? And apologies for a platform grab, but I really wanted just to show this concept of how we're taking this web activity and then we're combining that with customers within the market and be able to focus on certain areas and create automated and tailored campaigns. So we're looking here in the grab, which is saying, actually find me all the people who've looked at bedroom browsers in the last 90 days or mattresses within the last 90 days. And we're combining those two behaviors, and they're able to start sending kind of automated or tailored comms on the back of this activity. So you can see the power of kind of tying up the web activity against the customer profile to then start automating these kind of mailings. And this is where we can start to think about tailoring our content appropriately. So we're going to have a little look at that now. So again, following on from the Jysk.nl examples, here's an example of one of the Dutch newsletters. And you can see here on the left-hand side, you've got these kind of different category tiles, as I would call it. I'm not going to butcher the kind of Dutch kind of language here, but I can try again. Lounge sets, I think is pretty easy. We can say that one. So if we have, for instance, lounge sets or different types of categories that are coming through from the user being browsed, we can actually swap out these category tiles and do dynamic content based upon all of their web interactions. So these category tiles can change out based upon the user's awareness and what they've been browsing to make it very tailored to their categories as well. We've got the concept here of the personalized real-time product recommendations, which have things on this right-hand side. You can see here like kind of things like starred ratings, real-time pricing. And with such a catalog like Jysk have in terms of the amount of products, it's really crucial that we're using our real estate and things like our email newsletters to be very focused and tailored to the customer. And this is where we can start doing dynamic personalized product recs as well. And we can also create kind of automated trigger campaigns based upon on-site engagement. So we're focusing with our things like our abandoned baskets, our abandoned browse, our price drops or our back in stocks. We've also got these concepts of category triggers. So if I've been looking at those lounge sets, then we can have a lounge set email with lounge set product recs, all dynamically tailored off all of their activity. So you can see where we've taken this lead from lead family, kind of started to really enrich the profile, and then start to build out these marketing campaigns at a cadence and at a frequency that is right for the customer. And that's also which helps kind of Jysk manage this on an international scale. When we're talking 28 markets, lots of different kind of brand managers, lots of stakeholders to appease, actually what we're doing here is we're putting a hand up for the customer and saying, oh, the customer is interested in these type of areas, therefore we're going to market to the customer on their own terms. And that is a very big concept to kind of land in an international business. And that's where Jysk are really putting the customer first as well. So this idea here is around personalizing content based off that enriched profile. And that all starts with that incoming lead coming in from lead family as well. And just other things that we can do to enhance that customer experience as well. So this is some nice kind of real-time Instagram blocks that are pulling through into the Map platform. And again, we're using it here. So you can see a 2 products, a 3 Instagram, and a 4 Instagram. These are just drag and drops that they use within their different markets to, again, create that tailored, personalized comms. And these can be filtered to core product categories based upon hashtags within Instagram. And that's a really nice thing. So if we've got like those lounge sets versus mattresses, for instance, we can actually change up our Instagram based upon some key hashtags and then filter all of the content again. So we're tailoring it to what that customer is expecting and really is looking for and in market for as well. And then kind of here again, we just alluded to it earlier, this kind of automating the customer journey. When you've got lots of different users, and we're talking millions of users across the CDP that Jysk have with Map, we want to create these kind of tailored journeys. And actually, this is one from the Spin the Bottle campaign. That was another Christmas lead family activity. And you can see here, for again, the Dutch market, 100,000 users have gone through this whiteboard, and then we'll have scheduled out and sent some kind of automated and tailored dynamic emails on the back of this. And this is just for one market. So there's multiple flows that are happening per market, per language, per region. And as Amelia mentioned, they've now got activities around kind of the Store 3000 campaign, different candidates that they are seeing coming through there and profiling their users and adding points to the user's profile to see if they are the caliber of kind of entrant or candidate that they would expect to be managing one of their many 3,000 stores. So lots of different kind of angles that we've got here, not just the typical kind of B2C, but also B2B is at play. And there's a real combination of the two that we're using here as well. And ultimately, both Jysk and Map and Lead Family's aim here is to really engage that customer. So with the great kind of fun creatives that are coming from Lead Family and this kind of spin to win, we can engage not only our existing user base, but we can also engage new customers who are coming onto site. So just a few different kind of creatives here of the kind of spin to wins that have been really popular actually with the Jysk audience. Very easy to and obtainable to get kind of opt-in data coming through from that kind of post-purchase, or sorry, the post-game playing activity. And that is all feeding into Map and into these journey and automated flows. So I think from a brand marketer perspective on the webinar today, it is about that engagement. It's about something different. Not all companies are doing this, and actually this creates that really strong brand affinity. And therefore you can engage, and then you can try and then start building up that customer profile and then tailoring the communications. And it seems to be a really winning journey for Jysk and something that is also scalable across, as I say, now kind of 28 markets that we're working with over at Jysk. So that's really the kind of the typical content that we had for you today. There's a few real key takeaways that we'd like for you guys to benefit from on this session, and we're going to move into our Q&A shortly as well. So first of all, we've actually only just got this over the line, which is really great to see, but this is a case study with Map and Lead Family based upon that kind of prize party engagement activity that Amelia talked through today. So yeah, by all means, you'll get these slides after the session. I know the guys will probably put them into the chat as well. But yeah, there's a case study download which has a summary of today's presentation, key facts and figures, and how this is kind of scaled appropriately. And also there's a couple more takeaways from the session. There's some really good content out from Map at the moment, and this will be really useful for you guys. This is a website called improveyour.marketing, completely free to sign up on here. But you can download a really nice rich PDF which has now actually well over 100 tactics to help you acquire, nurture, grow and retain your customers, and see what other brand marketers are doing. And you can also build your own strategy in there. So there's a blueprint and marketing strategy. And this is something that our customer success teams over at Map like taking our clients through as well. So we can start to really depict your kind of journey of where your customer is, what engagements you're currently running through your CDP or through your current vendors. And then we obviously can see where there may be some gaps and maybe some opportunities that you can take to kind of engaging your customers further. So yeah, really nice resource here. So that's improveyour.marketing, and just go and download that kind of real nice brochure with all the different tactics that, again, just make sure that you're using all the latest things that you're available to do so. And then similar to the guys at Lead Family, just mentioning our latest Forrester report came out in April. And this is really looking at kind of the insight-led activity into customer experience. So really understanding the customer needs and getting that data out from your activity, and then being able to tailor your strategy accordingly. So yeah, by all means, download this latest Forrester report. Yeah, really interesting information that's come from Forrester. Is probably one of the latest research pieces that they've done in the market, and really appropriate for any brand marketeers on here today as well. So yeah, 3 key takeaways there: the case study from Jysk, you've got the improve your marketing, and then also this Forrester download as well. So I think that's it from ourselves. We've got some questions, a couple have come in, I'm sure, already on the chat. So I'll hand back to Rick, and yeah, I'll stop sharing, and you guys can see our screens as well.
Right. Emilia, Jill, thank you very much. Super interesting for me. Assuming also very interesting and inspiring for the attendees, as majority have stayed so long, as we are still within the 45 minutes. We really appreciate everybody's time and agenda. We still have around 10 minutes for a Q&A. We've got a number of questions already, so feel free if you want to interact with myself, with Emilia, with Josh. Put in your question in the chat, and we might be able to answer it here live. Maybe to start off, Emilia, I got a question for you. Can you give us a sneak preview in your next campaign or gamification campaign that you are preparing at the moment, and maybe explain a little bit what is the objective, or how do you set KPIs for that campaign? Can you tell us anything?
I can't tell anything, all the information, but we have some good plans for next year. Usually we plan 1 year ahead, and we choose games we would like to join to specific campaigns. Right now, I know that we will repeat this prize party campaign in September, because we were satisfied with numbers we get from this game. And also we will have the Christmas campaign, which is the most important campaign for us. It is the campaign that is bringing most new subscribers. It boosts our database with new leads, with huge traffic, and I think customers are expecting that from us, that we will deliver that campaign. And I can tell you that we start building this campaign already in summer, so we try to build something nice and good and entertaining also for our users. The rest, I just encourage you to observe our social media and see what kind of games we plan for you. So that's the future.
In the case study, we are able to see a number of statistics, like the 46 seconds average engagement time and the 300,000 email opt-ins. How do you determine those goals and objectives? Are you specifically looking for long brand engagement, for example?
In this first year of cooperating with Lead Family, we focus on the new subscribers and traffic to game. How many people play the game once, how many of them repeated the game. So that was our main goals right now, but we are aiming to preparing the always on campaigns, when we focus more on getting more specific games to customers and they interest in, for example, in garden furnitures, on any other subjects. But yeah, I think right now I can confirm that new subscribers are our most wanted KPI for now.
And I see, as we speak, another question coming in. Do you actually measure the effect of these campaigns on the local sales in the physical shops?
Right now, it is. I don't think so. We have enough tools to check it and measure it on the physical stores. But right now, I'm working on a project for our local markets when they have a new opening for new opening stores in a new place. I prepare a local game where it is promoted on Facebook, and we can see that how many people is playing on that game, and they get back to the store with a gift card or information that they play the game and they want to collect some prizes. So I think the numbers we have right now from these campaigns is satisfying, because I tested that in 2 countries, and I will roll out this project to all markets, 28 markets for now. So I think it is hard to measure the physical and offline stores traffic from online, but I think we can see, at least in this kind of projects, that it is working.
Cool, interesting. And measuring the real impact on sales, on revenue per store, per customer, requires some really advanced data analysis. I know from working with other clients that we have a number of cases where you have real physical evidence of applying a campaign, and then the next weeks after, you can see a real increase in sales, for example. There was a question coming in about, is there any difference in between the 30 game concepts of Lead Family, in between the conversion rates and the engagement time? And the quick answer is yes. And the platform of Lead Family has more than 30 different game concepts, where we have divided all those 30 games in different categories, and those categories, they have a number of benchmarks. And in general, we see that the average conversion percentage, so meaning people who sign up, leaving their email permission and their consent, is anywhere in between 30 and 80%, with a typical engagement time, where we just saw the 46 seconds at Jysk campaign, can be anywhere between, let's say, 30 seconds up to 2 or 3 minutes per session. And for some brand marketeers, that's a KPI by itself. To have, for example, in December, a very long brand engagement, as that's a very crucial month. Jumping over to Josh, I've got a more technical question here. Your platform is taking data from a lot of different sources. Assuming it's not an easy overnight task to set all those API integrations in a day or a week time. In short, can you tell the client how long it typically takes before you set up a CDP, as we just saw by using Jysk?
Yeah, so it is obviously dependent on how many markets and the complexities of each individual case. Obviously, we'd workshop that and have a kind of a look with our customer success teams and really map that out from an onboarding perspective. But in my experience, we can do things around 6 to 8 weeks is a typical lead span. I think with so many of our kind of partner network and especially with the activities like Lead Family, digital receipts companies, for instance, from offline to online, we already have pre-built integrations in place with a lot of the market. So yeah, this allows us to be able to take data from sources pretty quickly if they're on these type of technology stacks. And then with the Map Cloud, obviously with things like our data management platform or our Map Intelligence platform, these are our pixels and tracking pixels that as soon as they go live on the site, we can start collecting customer data and are already natively integrated into our communications tool in Map Engage. So yeah, I would say 6 to 8 weeks. Obviously, there's a lot of different kind of requirements from different stakeholders, sometimes around kind of the look and feel of the content, for instance, and that can take a little bit of time. But yeah, native kind of integrations, utilizing API, or for instance, we have pre-built connectors into Magento and some of the big e-commerce players. And we really have an open framework with our technology stack. So we have something called our Open Marketing Framework. Again, you can check that out on the map.com website, but basically that allows us to integrate any third-party technology tool that you may have already existing in your stack into Map in real time. And this is a real benefit because we can query the customer, look at any external platform that you may already have, say for instance like a loyalty platform, check and query maybe the real-time points of the user in that platform, call back that API, and then have that integrated into the campaign. So you can say, okay, this is Josh. We know this is Josh, and his real-time points allowance is 1,250 points, and that equates to 10 euros worth of spend, for instance. That all can happen in real time, and we can actually plug and play any kind of partners in the existing stack. So again, like I say, if you're interested in that type of activity, then we're obviously here to be reachable post the session, and we can talk a little bit further. But yeah, the key thing I think really around CDPs is just bringing in all those different types of sources, and Jysk is really on board with that from the e-commerce, from looking at the store tie-ups as well. Obviously, there's plethora of data that we can potentially get, but if you can tie that up to the customer, potentially against the email address, the mobile number, the app ID, or for instance, this DMP cookie, Once you have those kind of 4 things, if for instance you're operating on all those channels, you really know your customer wherever they are, whether they're on your mobile device or whether they're on desktop, and also what they're brand engaging with you guys on. So it is important to have that in one kind of seamless platform, because then you can make the smartest decisions and also make sure that that data is being utilized in the best way. So when we talk about our data management platform, it's not just about using it from a first party perspective. We can also push that to third parties as well. So DSPs or Facebook advertising, these type of things, which again make sure that you're using consistent data. And we all know that the kind of first party data is the power for our brands. It's something that, like the behemoths of this world, like Google, for instance, they just don't have. They don't have all that ingrained detail of your user and what they're doing on your current sites. So if you can use your first party data in a really smart way, your zero party data in a very smart way, then actually you're getting a competitive edge. So you know who to buy against when you want to do your PPC ads, who to suppress against because they've just made certain purchases on your website or maybe purchased in store. If you can tie up that customer into one kind of cohesive, as I mentioned, unified customer profile, you really are going to start to win and make those gains, and also make the customer experience much more seamless with your brand.
Beautiful. I'm not going to be rude, but we are respecting everybody's time. We are just past the 45 minutes, leaving me by thanking Emilia from Poland, by thanking Josh from the UK, and of course thanking all the attendees that stayed here for 46 minutes. If we haven't answered your question yet, we will get back to you after this webinar. And of course, we will send out a follow-up. And if it anyhow triggered you, or you got curious, or you want to have a little bit of a sparring session or brainstorming, feel free to get in contact with myself, with Josh, or go to the Jysk shop to buy some great furniture for your house. And hopefully we got some inspiration for you, and wish you a very good rest of the Thursday. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.